Sai Ram, Vandanam, Namaskar, Vanakkam, Assalamu Alaikum, and Sat Sri Akal. Today we approach another interesting topic called silence. Silence, right? So silence has obviously many different meanings in different contexts, right? But what's the meaning in spirituality? You know, in spirituality, I suppose one can look at silence as a metaphor for inner stillness, like a silent mind. It's a contradiction in terms because mind cannot be silent, right? It's a silent mind, free from the onslaught of thoughts and thought patterns. That is your ultimate goal in spirituality, and obviously an important step in spiritual development. Such inner silence is not about the absence of sound, but instead, in amidst the sound, you are finding that moment of stillness where you can communicate. And many religious traditions, right, in different religions, they have an importance of being quiet or being still, or maintaining that quiet sense of tranquility so as to engender some transformation and integral spiritual growth and so on and so forth, right? If you look at Buddhism, if you look at Christianity, even in Islam, Hinduism, Sikhism, all of these religions talk about being quiet, being still, being silent. In Hinduism, Advaita Vedanta also speaks about the same thing. And the great philosopher Eckhart Tolle says that silence can either be seen as an absence of noise or as the space in which sound exists, just as inner silence or inner stillness can be seen just in the same way as the absence of thought or the space in which thoughts are perceived. This is what he talks about, silence. There are many chapters and verses in the Bible, for example, interestingly, that speak about this. And there's lots of commentaries that said Christ would not even open his mouth and defend himself, even on the face of certain death. So once, Christ was on a boat, just with someone, the other person. Christ was just sitting there, and people from the shore could see, there's a boat some distance away, and Christ is sitting there. And then Peter came rushing, right? And then he asked the person at the shore, "Where's Christ? Where's Christ? Where's the master?" And then the person said, "The master is on the boat." And Peter said, "When is he coming back?" And the person said, "He's been there for a while. I think he's going to come back soon." So Peter said, "I need to see him urgently. Can you get me another boat to go out there?" And the man said, "No, wait for him. He will come." So Peter waited, a bit restless. He waited. And then Christ came back. And Christ got out of the boat, and then he went and sat on a rock nearby. And Peter went and knelt down beside him. And Peter said, "My Lord, I have an issue. I have a problem." So Christ said, "Speak, Peter. Speak your heart." And Peter started, for about 10, 15 minutes, was continuously talking, and Christ was, listening to him with his eyes closed. And when he finished, Christ said, "Okay." And Peter was actually waiting for him to say something, right? But Christ was silent. And Peter said, "Lord, I have told you my problem, but yet you will not say any words. And I can't think of a reason why you would not speak to me. I can't hear you say anything, Why are you in silence?" And then Christ tells him, he said, "My dearest Peter, right? By speaking, half your problems have been solved, right? If you do not understand my silence, my dearest Peter, you will never understand my words. Reflect on my silence, right? Because it is in your own silence that you can see real spiritual progress, dear brothers and sisters. It is in the sound of silence that you can hear God's voice. And Rumi, the great spiritualist, Rumi said, the quieter you become, the more you can hear the sound of God. A seed grows with no sound. But when a tree falls, it falls with a huge noise. That basically means that destruction has a lot of noise, but creation has a lot of stillness, it's quiet. This, my dear brothers and sisters, is the power of silence. Grow silently. Until I see you next Thursday, stay blessed. Bye now.